Are you out of your minds?
Someone had to act.
They most certainly did not! I told you crows to stay out of this!
Out of what? Defending our home?
If we had a stronger civil government instead of a bunch of circus criminals, the Antam wouldn't have a foothold in the first place!
You're responsible for the city?
This is Governor Ivenchi. They have concerns.
My concern is how you've endangered the city.
We're defending Antiva.
These protections are in place for the good of everyone. You act without oversight.
We crows are the oversight.
And yet, here we are, awash in Antam. And now, you've angered the Butcher.
We have other enemies too. The gods are involved, corrupting some Antam, making them monsters.
And the Butcher?
You two were right. He had help taking the city. Human traitors.
I didn't want to believe it. Killing the Butcher does nothing if someone could just sell us out again.
I'd start right here. You Talons are known for infighting and betrayal.
You're accusing them? One of their crows died for this contract.
That's enough. Rook, thank you for finishing that contract. The only reward we have is to ask you for more.
We're allies. Of course I'll help.
Ivenchi is right about one thing. The Butcher will not like that we're fighting back.
We need to be ready. Rook, I will have every crow tracking this traitor and the gods, and we will send word when we find something.
The stakes are too high. This should be left to proper officials.
Go back to filing trade receipts, Ivenchi. The crows rule Antiva.
And Treviso will be free. With or without you, Governor.
Have a look and keep my stores full. See you again.
Are you okay, Jacobus?
No. After we lost our families, Derek and I promised we'd look out for... I hate the Antom so much!
I'm sure Teo will welcome you to stay here in the Diamond.
I don't care. I don't sleep anymore anyway. But thanks for caring.
You should talk to some of the other occupation survivors.
You sound like air. Take time. Feel the loss how you need. I wish I were a full-fledged crow. I'm just trapped here, doing nothing.
The spirits are returning.
And thriving again. Good for them.
What do spirits spend money on? Never mind. What do you have?
Then Strife said we should monitor the situation in the crossroads, so of course I volunteered. I mean, what kind of veil jumper would say no? I only wish I'd been able to bring my Fade tuner, get some readings. I suppose you're right. We all need to make sacrifices.
Onward, Dweller. Manifestation.
Rook, Ilario sent word. He's got intel on Zara. He wants to meet up. Fancy a trip to Treviso?
Sounds like fun.
For me?
A sharp eye, a quick mind, and luck. That's most of the job.
So, do you think I could become one? An investigator?
It takes a certain amount of focus, too.
Oh, okay, well, maybe not then. I still can't believe it. I'm talking to the Nev Gallus.
And that's sweet, but I don't need the flattery.
Right, just a person I'll try to remember.
Rook, here to join us?
I'm glad to see you're making friends, Balara.
Oh, definitely. Nev's, well, Nev, she's been just so kind.
It turns out Balara knows my work. Or at least the parts that make the papers.
It all sounds so exciting. The things you've done, the people you've helped.
Those are the ones that go well. You don't hear about the rest. Everyone wants a scandal. Or a happy ending.
Or both, like the time you told the Marquis to—
Hold on. I don't think Rook's interested in that story.
You don't need to tell me if you're not comfortable.
It's less that, and more that the story needs the right atmosphere. After dark over bad coffee. Or expensive wine. Take your pick.
Speaking of, what's the situation with cooking exactly? Are we on a rotation or what? I can help out. I'm a pretty good cook, with some things at least. Well, most of the time. Sometimes I get distracted and things burn.
There's no official rotation. Everyone just makes extra food when they get hungry.
Do you mostly cook Dalish foods? I haven't had a chance to try many.
Sometimes. Not a lot of options when you're out in the forest. But I've learned a lot of different cooking styles. And Tevan, Rivani. Oh, I even learned how to make Tevinter Khachapuri.
Wait, real khachapuri? The hollowed out bread? 3 kinds of cheese? I love khachapuri. What about you, Rook? What are you craving?
Wild meat and mushrooms sounds pretty good.
Really? Maybe I'll make some. Lots of herbs out in Arlathan. Just don't pick the glowing ones.
You should have an assistant, someone to make sure it doesn't burn. See if it tastes right. That sort of thing.
Nev Gallus, helping me cook?
Again, the flattery.
Right, just a person. Got it.
Great. Now, let's see what we can scrounge up.
For whatever it's worth, I'm sorry about your cousin Dareth.
At least you completed his contract. Thanks for that. If the Antam hadn't... Ugh! Why aren't we at war? What's it take to know we have to kill them all? Taya and Viago told me what you found. That someone in Treviso sold us out to the Butcher and let in the Antam.
The Talons won't let this betrayal stand.
If I found out whoever it was, I'd make them so sorry. Or just dead. I wish there was something I could do.
Thank you for saving Jacobus. I hope I can help him save himself. He is at a dangerous point in his training. If he is not careful, he risks becoming merely a killer.
How is Jacobus?
Like many who have lost family, he seeks to fill the hole with the blood of others. This hole has no bottom, however. Climbing down is not the way out. I've not said that to him, though. Platitudes are not the comfort he needs or desires.
Have you many students?
I'm watching a number of youth. Some don't know they are students yet.
That sounds strange.
Would you prefer I wait until they decide they want to kill? That point is too late. Not everyone is a Jacobus with the benefit of a rook.
Jacobus. How is he?
It is good Rook found Dareth's contract. Eyre says Jacobus is comforted to know his cousin's death was not in vain.
Work might help focus him, but until he can control that temper, I cannot approve Jacobus as a full-fledged crow.
I feel as you do. We worry about Jacobus. His future seems so dark.
There's comfort to be found in the dark.
It could be hard to find without someone to guide you.
Then we must ensure there are crows alive to guide him.
Are there many crows like Jacobus?
We have many fledglings, but he is something of a prodigy. They tend to do very well, or very badly.
Not all things end with clarity, as you and I both know.
Fine. Endings are fuzzy. Starts are shocking. Middles are worth lingering.
The Kentori Diamond is your casino? The occupation hasn't closed your business?
Business may be down, but it isn't my casino to close.
An easy mistake to make. Isn't that right, Andaratea Cantori?
I am no landlord, and anyone who treats me as such shall be evicted.
So you two are both Talons. Doesn't that make you rivals?
Rank in one area is rarely applicable to others, which is to say, only a fool would try to impose rank on Thea.
Wise words from a sometimes fool.
A history I would wish on no one else, lest they take it from me.
That's all I have for now.
Did you train Dareth?
He was skilled enough, but I paid more attention to Jacobus. He has the makings of a prodigy, and I've told Thea and Viago as much. I hope he can realize it. He risks becoming something far more dangerous if he does not.
Are you part of a guild of trainers?
It is less organized, but more formal than a guild. As an heir, I'm left with both means and duty.
But who do you work for?
I don't work, I serve. A frustrating answer, I know, but the only one you'll get.
How long have you been training assassins?
The role was passed to me about a decade ago. Many changes took place during the subsequent years. Before that, I think I tended sheep. When you become an heir, the first death is your own.
You ever talk to Jacob? Sorry, I'm new at this. Not just at throwing marks.
The wing thing. Do you do that on purpose?
I don't. Why?
So you just naturally look amazing when spite helps? Some people get possessed and become mounds of pulsating flesh. You get wings.
Lucky me, my demon has a sense of style. Come on, Ilario will meet us at Cafe Pietra. It's not that far from here. We have time before he arrives. I wouldn't mind looking around a while. The markets are running. Good. I need to get some things while we're here. Treviso. Barely had time to look around when we returned from the ossuary.
This place, does it feel very different?
In some ways, more than I expected. But then, perhaps it's me. Ah, here.
A potted plant?
For Harding's garden. Spearmint is supposed to calm bad dreams. It's good in desserts, too.
So you and Ilario are cousins?
Yes, but we're more like brothers. Katarina took us both in, a long time ago now. Here's the place. Bellara mentioned the daily seafood recipe she wants to make.
The Demon of Virantium is grocery shopping for the team?
Have you seen what they eat? It's a miracle you didn't all starve before you hired me.
When we met, it didn't seem like Ilario and Katerina were close.
It was hard to be close to her, even for me. And I was her favorite. A good selection. Fresh fruit. Nev only eats fried fish. You'd think a detective would have discovered scurvy by now.
Is that everything on the list?
Yes, and Ilario should be here by now. Let's go before he gets himself in trouble.
You can't buy something for everyone but yourself. Here, this is for you.
A wyvern-toothed dagger? I loved wyverns as a boy. Katarina would never let me have one of these, though. Cafe Pietra is just ahead.
That's where we're meeting your cousin? Why not the casino?
House Cantori has many talents. Making coffee is not one of them.
Can I get you anything? Of course.
Finally. I thought you might leave me here all by my lonesome.
Please. You think I'd ever pass up Cafe Pietra's coffee?
You see, Rook, my cousin is all stomach and no heart.
Don't mind him. Ilario cannot appreciate anything but himself. They serve a specialty roast here, Andoral's breath. Bitter and sweet, like a kiss goodbye. You should try it.
Right. I know we came here for coffee, but I prefer tea.
Ugh.
Nobody's listening. Should we get to business?
There's still the one at table 3.
She just left to follow the waitress.
So, you have something?
The crows I sent after Sarah have picked up her trail. They say she's gone to Virantium.
If she was here in Treviso to kill Katerina, she can't be in Virantium already.
Rook's right. Zara's giving you a false lead, cousin.
You have better information?
We're compromised. There's no other way Zara could even touch Katerina. You need your eyes here, in Antiva.
Zara would never be foolish enough to stay. Not with you out for blood.
Of course she would. If the crows protecting her are here.
Rook, reason with him, would you? He's being paranoid.
I am not paranoid. She came after me. She came after Katerina. She will come for you too.
If it'll make you feel better, I'll clean house, all right? Leave it to me.
He's gone.
Of course he is. Ilario always caves under pressure.
Zara's not going to get Ilario, and she's not getting away with anything she's done. I promise.
Don't promise. But thank you.
So are you glad to be back in Antiva?
It doesn't feel real yet. And it wasn't this fool of Anton when I left.
I can imagine it's a shock.
They say taste and smell awaken our strongest memories. For so long, memories were all I had. But whatever the circumstances, the here and now is a much finer place to be. How's your tea?
Bold and refreshing. I feel ready for anything. Ready to head back to the lighthouse?
Almost.
Hi, Rook.
You keep disrupting the Antam. I'll keep you stocked. Come back soon.
Trouble at the gates, as always.
Thank you for handling it. And everything. Rook.
I mean, they didn't say they were. Probably a good idea, but I was pretty sure.
Why is that?
Most Tevinter are condescending, even the nice ones, but they weren't. And you remind me of them. So, it makes sense.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Rook, do you have a minute?
Of course. Something wrong?
Thea wants to meet.
That doesn't sound like a bad thing.
She wants to plan Katerina's funeral.
Oh, right.
If you don't mind, I could use some backup. In case Spite gets out of hand.
Let's not keep Thea waiting.
Fighting back suits you. Your tone has much improved since we last argued.
Excuse me. I wasn't aware it was my tone that was at issue.
That's all right. I'm sure you'll pay closer attention from now on.
See? This is why we split. And got back together and split.
Good, you're here.
Thank you for making the arrangements, Thea.
For Katerina? How could I do otherwise? I'm so sorry, Lucanis. This must be such a blow. Rook, thank you for coming with him. I need Juan de la Muerte to plan this. His cousin has been no help at all.
I'm sorry, Thea. This is just too much right now.
If there's anything I can do, just say the word.
You're such a dear. I hope these two are paying attention.
Thea, Don't flirt with my colleague.
Jealous? Fine. To business, then. There's a lot to plan. But first, I need the ashes.
Ashes?
Make it help us. Yes, the ashes. Katerina's ashes. From the cremation?
Oh, yes, of course. I'll get them to you right away.
Ilario, what happened?
What do you mean?
Katerina, how? How did the Venatori get to her? When? Where? In the estate? In the city? How did they get past our people? What did they use? Poison? Blades? I need to know.
Cousin, stop. You can't dwell on this. It'll drive you mad.
I'm not dwelling. Zara killed the first Talon. I have to know how if I'm going to stop her.
I told you, I'm handling it.
Boys, enough of this. We have other things to discuss.
My apologies, Andradea. Continue without me. I'll get you the ashes.
How are you holding up?
I'll be fine. Better once we kill Zara Renata. It's him I'm worried about.
Ilario can be a handful. But this? The only time I've seen him like this was when Lucanis died. You're worrying, aren't you? What will people say if they hear the demon of Virantium has a big, soft heart?
He's been careless at times, but never when his own life was on the line. Zara took down the first Talon. Anyone could be next, and my cousin doesn't want to think about it?
You have a point. It's not like Ilario to ignore a knife coming at him.
What do you need from me for the funeral?
Come. I'll get us some drinks and we can make the arrangements.
Our house owes you for handling all of this.
Katerina was family. Can you imagine what she'd say if she saw us all like this?
She'd be furious, especially at Ilario, as usual.
She was a smart lady.
She was the best. Of all the Talons, Katerina was the sharpest.
Which makes it even harder to believe this could happen. Nobody could catch her unaware. And now Ilario's got his head in the clouds.
I'll have my people keep an eye on him for you.
Thank you, Thea.
Go on. I'll let you know if something comes up. Noah says we fight as much as she and Neri. I told her their bickering was amateurish and that they'd need to work much harder to argue as well as we do.
That was altogether the wrong message to take away from that.
I thought you enjoyed our little squabbles.
Among and possibly overshadowed by other things.